this especially I'm going to discuss about the SDET journey and why, what they are like. So these are some theoretical concepts or certain keywords that as a SDET you should know, right? And most of the things you already know, but most of the things are common sense, but we are missing common sense, right? So, and that is the hard part. I just want to pay attention to this, and where we will basically discuss how, what are the different things that you should know as it, right? So, the the first point is basically switching from manual to automation, right? So, if we talk about that, we have discussed, right? So, let me reiterate few of the things. The first is mindset that we have already discussed, right? And the first rule was focus, right? So focused on one thing. That's one of the important things. So I'm just recapping the last thing. Focus on one thing, guys. Don't put your energy into too many things. That will basically will lead you nowhere. Have a goal. Set a goal. Basically, set a goal that I want this thing. For example, I can tell you mine. It will be related to. I have two goals: income as well as career related, right? So make sure you have goals related to 3 months or 6 months, right? If you want to increase your income or if you want to change your career, somewhere around it, right? Make sure you set your goals. So that's one of the important things that we have learned, right? The first principle that we have discussed was the focus, right? And second thing that we have learned was the 995 principle, which is basically means that 5% of planning and 95% of the time we are gonna do the action. And how we are doing action, we are basically taking small actions, we are taking feedback. If we are failing, we are taking at a result. So these are small results, good or bad result, that is again depends, but we want results. And after that we'll keep on learning, right? Make sense? uh Rule number 3, how many people have remembered the rule number 3? Can you put it down in one line? What was it? Anyone? What was it? Anyone remember that? Yes. Quite a people have remembered it. Okay. So yes, 70% is perfect, guys. 70% is perfect. And why I'm doing this exercise, you will get to know in the end. Trust me. You'll say, okay, why Pramod is doing this kind of exercise, right? But this is important, guys. Mindset. It's all about mindset. I have seen people who are automation engineer, who are good in programming language, who are good in frameworks, still not able to crack any kind of SDET interview, still not able to change their way to senior SDET, lead SDET, somewhere around it. Why? Because of the mindset. Because they are doing too many things, and they eventually they are bad at the single thing which is required for the SDET and what was actually required, right? So that's what we are seeing, and 100% is failure basically, right? And what was the last one? It is basically the new action, right? New action rule basically says that if you are taking the actions which you have taken in the past, you will get the same result as the past. So make sure you are taking certain kind of a new action. So new actions, especially related to this SDET journey, will be taking new code, basically learning, implementing, right? And as well as paying attention, focusing on the things. So these are the new action that you will be taking, and make sure you are keeping all the four principle in your mind before moving on. All right. So that was it. So that was the first point. Second was the most important point, which I'm telling you guys. This is one of the important point. I have seen lots of people are now facing problem, which is comfort zone, right? Confidently. Okay, I have written comfort. Okay, it's comfort, right? Comfort, comfort zone. Yes. Sorry, my bad. Typo is there. No problem. You get the point, right? So get it out. How you can get it out from comfort zone? It's very simple. You have to have certain kind of accountability. So you should have a goals first. If you have a goal, definitely if you have 3 month goal, 6 month goal, income goal, career goal, right? If you have these kind of a goals, you will eventually will always try to work for them, and make sure you have certain kind of a accountability. So accountability, how it works in this session, in this way is that basically you are nearly around 19 people, 17 19. So we are going to divide you into probably in the 5 5 5, or either way. and we'll basically make sure that everyone post whatever they have learned in the videos or the sessions or the live Q&A. Everyone just engage. If you are engaging more, it means you are learning more, and you are basically, if you are learning more, it basically means you are taking actions, right? And record your journey. That is one of the important thing that you can do. How you can do the accountability. So I would request, if possible, all of you start a new blog. Go to let me show you how to do it. It's very simple. Go to WordPress, right? Get what not org dot com, right? Create a free blog. If you are new, if you can do it, just type your name and start it. Basically I have already made one digital data, so that's why basically you can go to wordpress.com, and where you can start your blog. Make sure you record whatever you have learned per day. That is again will make you more, it will say similar process related to do, teach and learn, right? So make sure you do that. And I will request all of you, if you have started it, tag me there, put it into the Facebook group. We'll read about how, what you are learning today, what you have learned this week, right? So that's way. Or use Medium. Yes, yes, you can use Medium also. So if you can, you can use Medium also, right? So it's another one that you can use. So basically you can create a new story and start start documenting. So people are documenting the things like my top 10 lesson for software testing. So like people are already type sharing information, right? So that's what you can do. Third point is basically networking. So networking, how it is, basically it's important that you guys already are using LinkedIn. What you need to do is that basically what you need to follow the people who are already at the position where you want to go, right? So you can learn from other QAs, right? For example, right now, let me tell you about myself. So I am following most of the people like who are QA manager or something like that, right? So that's where whatever they share, whatever they think they share, I'll get to know what are the things going. I'm also following other people also, but that's again, the point here is overall that you need to follow or learn from the people who are already have done the things that you want to achieve, right? So that's where this comes in handy. Make sure you follow the on LinkedIn, because they share lots of information. Don't use Facebook. Use Facebook for learning right now, as we are using for as that blueprint, but don't use it for some share like other work, but that will again waste your time. Use LinkedIn in that case. Share your whatever that you have learned or anything like this, right? So make sure you leverage LinkedIn. That is again more important. Read blogs. So one of the blog that I will highly recommend all of you, it's not a blog actually, it's a blog about blog. It's a basically multi-blogging platform. It is Ministry of Testing. And if you go to this link, let me share. All of you bookmark this page and daily check out the different uh, testing related articles, and that's what actually increase your information about the latest automation trending tools that are going on, right? If it is new to you, let me know. If it is amazing, right? Make sure you follow the Ministry of Testing. They have couple of free courses also, so that you can do, and they have also some paid courses which are very uh, high, I would say. And but you need to use, I'll highly recommend all of you to make sure that read or few of it which are interest, basically getting interested to you, basically related to, for example, defining your own journey, API testing, rest assured. So anywhere article which are which you think that you should be reading, then make sure you do that. So read blogs, right? So you can follow these guys like said James Back, right? This guys, and these are like again some some of the important guys that you should be following. Why we are doing it? Because we want to change our mindset, guys. That's what I'm telling you, right? If you are, if you want to achieve something, you need to follow these people so that you can achieve what they have actually done, right? Share your knowledge. Again, I would highly recommend all of you to make sure that you are using Medium or WordPress, any kind of a free platform to start documenting. Okay, let me ask this question. How many of you already have a blog? If you have a blog, just type blog. All right, okay. How many of you already have a blog? Okay, Saurav has a blog. Can you share your links? No problem with that. We can share also. Okay, so lots of people don't have it, right? I think yes. So make sure you create it, guys, because if you are sharing the knowledge, it basically means you are learning it side by side, right? So make sure you do that, and that's where which is important in that case, right? So buy books if you are interested in learning through books, right? Not through the article somewhere like this. Make sure you buy some of the books related to it. For example, you can buy lots. I can recommend you some of the top books that you should be reading as a software tester, so that will again change your mindset. And all of the things that I'm telling you, all this thing is basically you have seen in the last uh, of the yesterday session. I have discussed about the lots of people are joining testing as a by accident, right? So there are like couple or like around 30%, 32% of the people are joining by accident. So if you are someone who are joining software testing industry as accident, you will lose momentum eventually. So that's where this comes in. Whenever you start your sharing knowledge, by reading more about it, more or more hungry in that case, I would say in a simple way, you will be keep on learning and you will enjoy your work in that case. So that's how you can do it, right? This is clear, right? And make sure you are patient, be patient, have a patient in that case, right? Don't be hurry to switching from manual to automation, right? So let's come to the automation skill and overall learning path. So if we talk about the technical programming skills, right? So programming skills generally, whenever we think about the SDET, they are fall under these categories. They either know JavaScript, Java, Python. Most of the people related to Asia specific and all are preferring Java. Whereas if you talk about United States or somewhere around, people are equally divided between JavaScript, Python, and Java. So depending upon your area of expertise where you have started it. Make sure you know these, at least know the core functionality of these programming languages, right? If we talk about the databases, MySQL and Postgres works fine. Most of the time, people are using it. And apart from it, if you have joined some other company, you need to learn about the some of the other databases like MS SQL or something like that, right? So if you know these things, if you have the basics of database, that we work in the same way. This is another important thing, and people are missing it, which is related to the queuing system, like RabbitMQ and Kafka. This is some mixed services that you should be aware of how these work and how they have implemented it. Sometimes most that you will have to, since I've already discussed, right? Right now, people are moving toward the microservices, and I'm going to discuss what exactly is a microservices. And these microservices are basically leveraging these kind of queuing system. They have consumer, they have producer, right? And it will be sometimes there will be certain kind of a testing work that will come in your way as that. So you need to have some understanding of the queuing system related like Kafka and RabbitMQ in that case, right? So I'm just giving you some keywords around it and toolset knowledge. So let me do it in a way, right? So test framework, if we talk about in JavaScript, we have Jasmine, right? In Java, we have TestNG. In Python, we have PyTest, right? Dependency manager, NPM, Maven, and pip. You can go with it. Framework type, most of the people are using hybrid in that case, right? Or data driven, DDD. Where is DDT? DDT, right? People most of the people are switching towards the BDD also, and TDD are still TDD and keyword driven are still doesn't have any kind of doesn't have not any actually have less number of usage on platform. It depends upon the area where you are working on. So if we talk about again India or Asia specific, we are using most of the people are using hybrid kind of a thing, right? With a DDT, which is data driven testing in that case, right? And API testing, especially people are preferring Postman. Again, second choice is again Rest Assured. Python, PyTest, and request are again. And if you talk about the JavaScript, we have request plus framework knowledge. So you should be, as a SDET, you should be aware about these things. And the last important thing is, which is most important one, where people are lacking in API testing, is end-to-end CRUD with framework. Their framework will include DDT plus POI, code reusability, design patterns, right? And database testing is another thing that people right now are using, and they call it most of the time backend testing, database or backend testing, right? So that's where you need to be aware about it, right? So if we talk about web application, right, sorry, we have Selenium, Cypress, Catalan Studio, and ALM UFTs, right? So Selenium again rules most of the time. Right now, Cypress is coming. So Cypress is basically been a while. It's been a while, and people are preferring for front end testing. There's a keyword here: end-to-end front end testing. Cypress people are preferring. And apart from the functional end-to-end, people are still using Selenium in that case. And right now, if you see the trend, most of the people who have certain heavy functional test cases are moving towards the API testing, right? So they are basically, for example, if they have 3,000 plus test cases in the Selenium, they are moving certain those test cases to the APIs. And for the front-end part, they are moving towards the Cypress in that case. And if it is end-to-end functional, they are sticking with the Selenium in that case. So that's what's actually happening currently right now. Most of the companies that I had a discussion with, probably around 15 to 20 QA leads. Right, Catalan Studio people have started it, but it depends upon you. Right now, people are still using UFT, QTP, or ALM, right, for their test management and batch management. If we talk about the mobile testing, we have APM and XUI test, right? So APM, we are not gonna cover it, but we're gonna share some of the videos that definitely will help you a lot. And we are covering already Selenium, Cypress in that case. So that's where it comes. Performance testing, if you are a good performance tester with lots of experience, people still prefer JMeter, Gatling, and BlazeMeter is again, you can say, add-on to JMeter. They will basically have modified it and used it. So they where you can have certain kind of a knowledge. So again, with the CI/CD part, I would say Jenkins and Docker are enough. Apart from it, knowledge of Git is important. Git and GitHub, right? Some of the people are still using big bucket for it. And if you talk about the other companies, they are using Buildkite, lots of Travis CI. So these are again certain different variations, but core funda is similar to the Jenkins. So that's why Joe and Jen we are preferring Jenkins because it's open source, free alternative, and means most of the companies, even I have worked on, even Chandan has worked on, we are still using Jenkins. It's safe, open source. People are using it. That's where it's come from, right? Uh, is this make sense, guys? Yes. Let me know in the comment if automation toolset makes sense. Guys, be interactive because we are gonna learn something new, and this is important to get started. And I know it's a theoretical, and lots of people are saying, okay, we already know this, but just a overall view for everyone that this is how the structure of the asset looks like, how what exactly is expected, and these are the tools, these are the testing type of testing, right? These are the things which are mostly expected, right? If we talk about the continuous knowledge, this is where advanced stuff comes in. If you are SDET, it is not expected, but if you are senior SDET or somewhere around, you have experience with 5+ to 8+, something like this, right? They will expect you to have set. You should know how to calculate the ROI of automation, and we're gonna have some session around it. And that this is important. They basically they want to know what is your automation strategy, how you will do it, what is your approach, what are the metrics. They basically want to know. People want to know, as a QA manager wants to know from you, if they are shifting to the automation, it is worth or not, right? So they want numbers in that case. So that's where we comes in. We basically give calculate the ROI. We have So ROI, let me give you in a nutshell, will basically calculate number of test cases that regression has that is to be automated, what will be the effort is there, right? How many days it will take to basically complete it. So just giving you a simple, in a simple layman words, but it's has a proper formula to calculate it, right? And that you should know about it. And they will ask you about the regression optimization, how you will basically optimize, how will you reduce the number of test cases that you already have, and what is your approach in that case. So we are going to discuss about in the end probably where the all these things, and these are related to certain kind of interview questions also, where they will discuss you about, okay, how will you optimize your regression, what, how you reduce the number of test cases in that case. So that's where this comes in handy, right? Bug management system, most of the people right now are using Jira for that, right? And even you guys will be already using, right? And people still prefer, some of the people prefer Bugzilla, and there are a couple of modes, but I have just written few of them to get you get started, right? I hope this makes sense. So expectation from SDET, we're gonna cover this thing. So the first expectation is basically SME of the project. Any SME basically means subject matter expert, right? So whatever the project that you're working on, it can be anything related to a web application or a mobile application. You should be all aware of it. You should be involved in the full software testing lifecycle as that. You you should be highly skilled in end-to-end technologies that are used. So overall, I'm again telling you, if you are only comfortable in test script creation, that will not work, because you should have a knowledge of the messaging queues like RabbitMQ, RabbitMQ, Kafka, what is going on, how this consumer and producer are basically behaving, right? So you should have an end-to-end highly skilled technology. You should have an overall idea. So that's where the SDET comes in, right? And if required, sometimes even we have done it, we have sent the code in production as a SDET. So it is not like that, that okay, SDET or a QA cannot send any kind of a code in production. We have fixed it. We read runtime. We have done it. No problem with that, right? So that's it can be a situation in that case, right, where it is required to have these kind of skills, right? Helps in estimation as well as in metrics performances. So people are going to ask you about, well, what is your expectation, estimations, matrices, performance, how you, what is means how you are creating your test scripts, what is the advantage of it, how many P0s, P1 scripts are there, and uh, how it is helpful to catch any kind of a bug in regression, right? So they are going to ask these things. They are these kind of expectations they'll have. Help in quick test scripts. Basically, as a SDET, you need to create scripts, right? So the scripts, we are calling it as a whatever the automation framework that we have. We are basically increasing our scripts or test cases in that, right? So that we are covering as much as we can. One of the important thing is coverage related to test coverage that we are going to discuss in the end. How to calculate the test coverage and how it is expected for any kind of a SDET, right? So this is most of it, right? And right, people, one of the important question, like previously in the batches, people have asked me, right, okay, what about the manual testing concept? So my point here is that as a SDET, you should be good at the manual testing first. So if you want to become any kind of a automation engineer, software developer in test, you need to master the manual testing. So manual testing includes, I have only written the black box testing here, but it includes concepts like the black box, gray box, as well as white box testing. But you should have understanding of most of the time in, if you talk about in manual, you should be aware about the different testing techniques that we are using. So it can be boundary value, error guessing, equivalence partition, decision table, state transition, pairwise testing, right? So why it is important? Because in a nutshell, you are whatever the test case that you are writing, those test cases will be basically made from these kind of testing techniques, and you will be automating these test cases, right? So you should know how this test case was made and what exactly it is covering in that case. So that's why manual testing is important, right? And trust me, manual testing is not dying, but if you are only a manual tester, then that's a problem for you. But right now, what I'm saying, pay emphasis is on this, that as a SDET, you should be master, or I would say a good at the manual testing first, right? So, and at least you should have a good grasp of the all the testing technique, so that any kind of a regression suite or any kind of a test script that you need to create, you should have the basic understanding that, okay, I can use these black box testing techniques and create the number of test cases, right? Cool. Right. Communication skills is another important thing, and I have seen people are lagging behind. So they know English, I already know that, and they can communicate over the email. That is fine. But the problem here is that the bug reporting, right? So whenever they are creating any kind of a test case, they don't write in a particular language, and even the test strategies as well as test plan that they are creating, it's only they can only understand this if they share with someone else or any kind of a peer. They are not able to understand it clearly, so that's where they lack the communication part. So I would highly recommend to make sure start improving it and write a good bug report. So I have made a couple of videos around it. I'm going to share on the email uh, that what you should include in your bug report, what should include your test case, test strategies, right? So those are important points, and those are the things that is automatically will expected from any kind of a SDET, right? Uh, so that's what important. And metrics knowledge, it basically means that any kind of a number of test cases, how what is your actually metrics for this project. So for example, if it is 6 months projects, how many test cases you will create, right? And what are the different number of cycles that you will have, how many resources you want. So as a nutshell, even if you are starting your career as a SDET, you should have a knowledge about it, because that will automatically will required after a few times after in your journey, right? Now comes the important point, which is the productivity skill. And this is an important thing that I wanted to discuss. How many people already know about the Pomodoro technique? Type yes in the comment if you already know this. This is one of the important thing. I have used it, and trust me, it works very well. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Also looks like people are sleeping, right? All right. Okay. Right. So what you can do here is that I'm audible, guys. Yes. Yes. Okay. 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 Comments are coming late. Okay. Little bit late. No problem. Okay. So Pomodoro technique is basically means what you can do. Traditional Pomodoro was something like this. You work for 25 minutes, and after that you will take a 5-minute break. And let me show you one of the app. And I would request you, if you are on Mac, you can use this. It is called. Let me show you what is it. It's called as Tomato, right? And I have used 50 minutes. Basically, what you can do is that you can use 25 minutes, right? And break time will be 15 minutes. So you can change it to 5. And here you can change it to 10, right? So long break after the 5 Pomodoro. So how to be productive in that case is basically you will work for 25 minutes and you will take a 5-minute break. So 5-minute break is not again checking your phone. It will be like have a drink of water, stretch out, something like this. Okay. And right now I cannot do because I am taking the session, but generally most of the time I use Pomodoro for these things, right? You can use Notion, which is again a good for any kind of note taking app, and we're going to have some more session about Notion because we are using it for some of the software testing related work. And trust me, Notion is another great note taking application, right? Put everything in calendar, which is important thing. I have shared this video already, that make sure everything that you do, you are sharing, you are putting into the calendar rather than in your mind, right? So if you see, let me share my calendar with you guys. Okay, let me change it to my this thing. And this is, trust me guys, this is one of the important thing that you this is again common sense, but works well to be more productive. So anything related to it, for example, you'll just put it here. For example, code creating course content, right? So today is actually Sunday, that's why it is free for me, right? And after that, if you see, we have like everything like meditation session, testing academy video, Quora answer, and article ad, and couple of more agenda. So it will basically change according to some, for example, it's a stand up, something like this, right? So everything is added into the calendar. So make sure you put it, because whenever you have something in your mind, you will forget. So that's where put everything into calendar. It can be breakfast, meal. So make sure you block the time first for the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. After that, you can, whatever the test you want to do for 3 months, 6 months, you can put it into the calendar. Right? Use Google Calendar and use reminder in that case, right? And make sure you are following everything with your passion, right? So that's all about it. It's a small introduction and about the SDET journey.